You said there was a route for him to stay, and you told him that. What was that route?
Well, no, it was through continued discussions with the Greens, and when that became when it became clear that that wasn't going to be the case, then I think the First Minister came to the realisation himself that it wasn't going to be sustainable. And that's
by Sunday, that had gone. The Greens were out of the question, but the person sitting next to you was in the frame. There was going to be a conversation with Alba, potentially, and you had that conversation on Monday morning, didn't you? What happened?
I did. So we're in a situation now where we have the junior partner, or the former junior partners in the government, boasting about how they have got rid of the First Minister of Scotland.
That's not true.
And I set out a very measured, a very reasonable approach to the First Minister. I wrote him a letter and I said that I would be willing to support him in the vote of no confidence against him, because at that point it was just about himself and not the government, if he could demonstrate to me progress on Scottish independence, and that would be action, not just words, not just talking about it and putting it in your election manifesto, but actually doing something. I asked him for progress on defending the rights of women and child safeguarding and competence in government. This was a bar that was set so low, it was basically a rope across the floor, and yet he managed to trip over it. I think this is turning into a pantomime now, where there are some very serious issues facing Scotland, which I'm sure the public will want to see addressed. They don't want to see politicians bickering about what's happening. They want us focused on delivering for the people of Scotland. I am completely committed to those three themes. I have been talking about them for over the last year. Unfortunately, we're in a position now where the SNP, where Humza, I think, did the right thing with chucking the Greens out of government and putting them out through the front door. But it seems to me as if the Butte House agreement may be over, but I think the Butte House deal has been done by some people in some back rooms. There's a backroom deal going on here, and the Greens will be back calling the shots before we know it.
What did he say to you on Monday morning in that telephone conversation?
It was a very, very brief conversation where I reiterated to him that my very reasonable proposal was on the table. And I have to say that as one independence politician to another, I couldn't quite get my head round why such a reasonable ask as asking an independence party to take some action on independence was seen to be a bridge too far.
Well, let's try and understand that with Neil here. Humza, you said that I'm not willing to trade my values and principles for a deal with whomever, on the basis of they ask their competence in government, progress on independence, and acceptance of the Cass report. What was so difficult about that in terms of principles and values?
I think everybody knows that there was more to it than that, and around what we saw over the weekend demonstrated what this was all about for the Alba party. And we've also seen a demonstration today.
Hold on a second. What you mean by that? The audience need to understand what you're talking about. What do you mean by that?
It's about the rehabilitation of Alex Salmond.
So it's about one man.